Alright, for this video we're going to be looking at some basics of this Casio calculator that you hopefully have access to now. And it does some really great things. And the first thing I want to look at is how you actually use fractions. How you use this thing to do fractions, because that's going to be one of your biggest computations. So now I'm recording this with my iPad, so it's upside down for me, so I apologize if I look a little awkward doing this, but you'll notice that right here you can see a little fraction button. Okay, that's going to allow you to type in a fraction. Okay, if you hit enter, it actually gives you an answer in the fraction. Now if you want the decimal, you use this little standard to decimal key, SD. When you press that key, it changes you back and forth from a decimal to a fraction. So it even gives you the repeat sign, or then your standard look, and then back to a fraction. Okay, if you need to type in a mixed number, right above here you can see in kind of this yellow color. So you're going to use the shift key and then press that button, and you can actually now type in a mixed number. So say you had 1 2/3. Okay, and then again it will throw it down. Its natural way of putting it down is in an improper fraction, because that's easier to use in calculations. But if you need to see an improper fraction back in as a proper fraction, then you're going to hit second, and if you come down to the standard decimal key right above there, you can see that it will change you back and forth. So you're going to hit that again, and it'll change you back and forth. If you want to see the decimal, you just press that without hitting the shift key, and it'll give you the decimal approximation, and then it'll go back and forth between that. But again, if you wanted the actual mixed number, then you hit shift and standard, and it will give you the mixed number there. Okay. One last thing that I might say is if you're trying to reduce a fraction, say you have something like let's say you have 120 over 8. So let's actually go back here and get my fraction. So say you have 120 over, I think 8 goes into there evenly. Let's think of one that's not quite so nice. 50, we'll go with that. Okay, now if you're asked to simplify that, then the calculator will simplify the fraction for you. It'll reduce it for you. You can change it back, so you hit shift and hit the standard to decimal. It'll shift you. If you press shift, that'll change you to a mixed number. Then just actually, if you hit equals again, I'm sure it'll change you back. If you need the decimal form, okay, you just hit that standard to decimal button again, and it will pop you back and forth between the two. So very powerful calculator. You can even do things, you can do two fractions. So you could have, say it told you to do something like 1/2 divided by 3/5. Okay, you can hit this button again on the top and again on the bottom, and notice now you have two fractions that you can type in. So you could say, all right, well, this problem's asking me to do this nasty thing right here. It wants me to do 1/2 divided by 3/5. Okay, if you type that in there, hit enter. Okay, and there it goes. It'll shoot out that fraction for you, 5/6. If you need the decimal, again, just hit standard to decimal. It'll give that to you, and you can go back and forth on those. But a very, very powerful tool for you in doing fractions. And the last thing is that I know I've said that like 3 times, but I keep looking at stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to tell them this. If you hit the red alpha key and then right under the square root button, you can do repeated decimals. So say I wanted to find out what 1.3 repeated was as a fraction. So I could hit 1 point, and then you need to put that in. So 1.3 repeated. Okay, and it will give you the fraction that is equivalent to 1.3 repeated. And again, you can just kind of bounce back and forth here to verify that for yourself. So anyway, the shift and the alpha key are what engage all of these things you see here, but a very powerful tool that you can use. So that's our first video, just basics of using fractions.